Good morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Jeff Waters, Chief of the Coastal Observation and Analysis Branch here at the Field Research Facility, U.S. Army Engineer Research and Development Center, or FRF ERDC as we like to call it. At this time, I ask that you please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Thank you all for joining us today on this momentous occasion as we break ground on our research and laboratory facility annex. We ordered up some nice Outer Banks spring weather for you. So this time I'd like to welcome all of our special guests as well as Corps of Engineers and ERDC team members joining us virtually during our live broadcast. Joining me on the program today, Dr. David Pittman, ERDC Director, Dr. Ty Walmsley, Coastal and Hydraulics Laboratory Director, Ms. Betty Jo Shepard, Field Representative for the Office of U.S. Senator Richard Burr. I'd also like to recognize other distinguished guests in attendance today. Regional Representative Mr. Trey Lewis, thank you. Office of U.S. Senator Tom Tillis, Staffer Leslie Ginsky, representing Congressman Greg Murphy, Mr. Jose Sanchez, U.S. Deputy Director of Research and Development, and our community official, I know we have with us today, Mr. Drew Havens, the new town manager for Town Duck, Chief Black with the Duck Fire Department, and Sandy Cross and Joe Hurd with the Town of Duck. On behalf of the Savannah District, Ken Gray is the Construction Division Chief, Ken. Tracy Hendren is the Engineering Division Chief. Stephen Blanchard, who's the resident engineer, Stephen, and Terry Brooks, the project engineer, Terry. Mr. Al Chesson, representing AR Chesson Construction Company. Mr. Chesson, thank you for being here. Dr. Carrie Talbot, hey Carrie, my boss. Chief of the Storm Protection Division, Coastal and Hydraulics Lab, and Mr. Lon Pribble, ERDC Director of Legislative and Interagency Science at ERDC. I'd also welcome and introduce you to some of the dedicated team of researchers, technicians, and staff here at the Field Research Facility. It's a tremendous work done by these people. It's a justification for this new groundbreaking. And finally, a virtual welcome to our ERDC Deputy Director, Dr. Beth Fleming, and ERDC Commander, Colonel Teresa Schlosser, ERDC Lab Directors, and other ERDC leadership who unfortunately couldn't be here today. Thank you again for taking time to join us today. At this time, it's my honor to introduce Dr. David Pittman, Director of the ERDC. Dr. Pittman.
Well, good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day. I mean, the Coastal Hydraulics Lab Field Research Facility, researching on a beach. Been here since 1977. What a fantastic job to have. Who gets to do this for a living? These guys do. So it is so fantastic to be here today. And I want to thank right up front all of our partners that made all of this possible. From the congressional staff, our senators and congressmen, that really help us out across the ERDC and across the Corps of Engineers, our friends in the town of Duck, the state representatives in North Carolina, our contractors who's actually building this thing here, our Corps of Engineers Savannah District who's actually building this for us. I'm just so proud to be here today with all of you as we dedicate this new annex for the Coastal Hydraulics Lab. So I got a few remarks here, and I also say welcome to our ERDC team who's, I think we're broadcasting live, and actually couldn't be here today with us on this gorgeous day. So I'm excited to be here to celebrate not only this groundbreaking ceremony, but also the extraordinary research that everybody's been conducting here at the FRF, we call it, for Field Research Facility, since its founding in 1977. Some of us remember 1977, not a bad year. It's been providing the Army and the scientific community unparalleled insights into a very dynamic environment. Now, the FRF has maintained a comprehensive long-term monitoring program of the coastal ocean area, including waves, tides, currents, local meteorology, and associated beach response. It has become an internationally recognized observatory and a premier location for conducting complex and comprehensive nearshore research and engineering studies. As a matter of fact, Dr. Ty Wamsley, who's the director of the Coastal Hydraulics Lab, says if you took coastal and hydraulics research classes or got a degree in that area, it refers to this facility in the textbooks. This is kind of where it all started. Now, so as you look around the site today, you will notice a research pier jutting out into the ocean here about 1,840 feet. That is 6 football fields. If you don't believe it, get on it and walk it. It'll take you a while to get to the end. And just remember, you got to walk back when you go out there. It's got specialized amphibious vehicles like the Crab, that big tall triangular thing out here. Looks like a Star Wars thing. It actually goes out into the surf zone. Specialized amphibious vehicles, custom built instrumentation that does everything from measuring waves with radar to capturing changes in the water conditions across the Currituck Sound. Now, did you know that there's a world record out here? There's a world record out here. This field research facility has been collecting data along this shore continuously for longer than any other place in the world. Collecting shore data, beach erosion data, continuously collecting for over 40 years. That's why it's so famous. Nobody else in the world has ever done that. And that's fundamental to understanding how we're going to operate in the Army and our Civil Works going forward. So the new Field Research Facility Annex right there is a $4.3 million state-of-the-art facility that will enable innovative research and development to support the Corps and the ERDCs, our Civil Works mission that we have, and our military mission that we have, that have grown so much under Jeff Waters' leadership that it took another building to get it all done. So that's why we're doing it right now. So the work that these exceptional engineers, scientists, and support personnel conduct daily at the FRF is vital to an expanding military research program to develop methods to project the force, to get the force where they have to go around the world, to conduct forcible and early entry operations, and to transition rapidly to offensive operations to seize the initiative for the Army. Now, this military mission really took off in 2017, just 4 years ago, when it expanded by 20% in just 1 year. Now, that's a big jump in 1 year in a research program. And it's my job as the director of ERDC to help with partners out there to ensure that these extraordinary people that do this work every day have the best world-class equipment, capabilities, and facilities to do their job to the best of their abilities. So the field research facility's value to the Army cannot be overstated. These researchers are currently conducting work funded by the Army and by commercial companies as well, while collaborating with the other ERDC laboratories. We have 7 laboratories in ERDC, this is one of them, to come up with solutions to some of the world's toughest engineering challenges. And this dynamic work includes standoff assessment technologies, so you can find people before they find you, force projection support through the littoral zone, and a military engineering research project on wave braking types that will improve the assessment and characterization of surface zone trafficability for small vessels and swimmers during landing operations at austere ports. You can guess who those swimmers might be. So in addition to the Department of Defense, the Field Research Facility also supports academia and other agencies. We have always encouraged those outside of the Corps of Engineers to use this facility and its data, thereby allowing the site to serve as a center for cooperative experiments where the resources, labor, and instruments can be pulled together to investigate very complex challenges that we're all interested in. Now, that philosophy of furthering science and collaboration still applies today, as many joint projects and programs, such as the During Nearshore Event Experiment, or DUNEX, now you see why we call it DUNEX? DUNEX are currently being conducted on the site. So DUNEX, which is a U.S. coastal research program effort, is a multi-organization collaboration to study nearshore coastal processes during coastal storms. This multi-phase effort began with a pilot study in September of 2019, and it's going to be followed up later by the full experiment. So more to follow. So research collaborations like this, as well as the ongoing projects for the Corps of Engineers Civil Works program and our military programs that all take place right here, make the Field Research Facility basically irreplaceable. It is my belief that this new annex and the talented personnel who work here will ensure that cutting-edge science, engineering, and technology advancements and partnerships continue to flourish for years to come. Together, we will come together, as we say it in ERDC, to discover, develop, and deliver new ways to make the world safer and better every day. We do that in every mission that we have. So I'm so proud of all of you, to our FRF members, CHL, ERDC, Corps of Engineers, all of our contractor support, local support, congressional support. So proud of all of you, and thank you for being here today. It's such a magnificent day, and I look forward to the great things that's going to happen here in the next 40 years. So thank y'all so much. It's good to be here.
All right, good morning. And, you know, today is really an exciting day for the Coastal and Hydraulics Laboratory. It's been a day long coming. I just want to thank all of you for joining us, both here on the beautiful Outer Banks and also virtually for this very special day in the history of the Coastal and Hydraulic Laboratory. You know, the FRF is truly a special place. And my background is in coastal engineering. I came up as a coastal engineering. That's my, you know, took coastal engineering 101 in undergraduate school. And as a coastal engineer, I have a real appreciation for just how special it is. Dr. Pittman, you know, he mentioned that, you know, one of the first, right out of the gate, one of the first things you learn in coastal engineering 101, you learn about FRF and the things that go on here. You know, it's not only known by those of us here in the United States, but it's really known across the globe. I mean, coastal engineers from all over the world know about this place right here and the amazing work that goes on. You know, as previously mentioned, Dr. Pittman mentioned that the FRF, it is a truly unique and comprehensive long-term data set. Nowhere else in the world is there anything like it. And that is used not only by our researchers, but again, collaboration is at the heart of everything we do. We make that available to researchers across the U.S. and across the globe to advance coastal science and engineering for the good of all. And so, you know, the U.S. Army, the Army Corps of Engineers, the state of North Carolina, the Outer Banks communities really have a lot to be proud of in the FRF. You know, in fact, Here's a good fact for you though. As of 2019, there are over 1,000 publications that reference the data collected right here at the FRF. Truly a lot to be proud of. The Coastal Hydraulics Laboratory, we have a long history of supporting both civil works and the warfighter in coastal and riverine environments. And the genesis of our laboratory's coastal mission really begins with the Corps of Engineers Beach Erosion Board. And from the very beginning, we have supported our military in important ways. During World War II, we completed more than 50 detailed reports on possible landing sites and other topics of beach and wave environment intelligence that was vital in planning operations in both the Pacific and the Atlantic theaters, including the planning of the D-Day invasion at Normandy. This is a tradition that we're very proud of, and it's one that continues right here at the FRF today. The vision for this building that we're going to break the ground on today was cast nearly 10 years ago. The value of this unique facility to the military mission, particularly in the area of force projection, was recognized. And we knew that to meet this military need, we needed to fully leverage the value of this facility to the nation, we're going to need to expand the size of our world-class team here, and we're going to need to expand the size of our support shop and research space and office space. Dr. Jeff Waters, our chief here at the FRF, was brought on to help develop that vision and to make it a reality. And I really want to thank Jeff personally for all he's done to make this day possible. Yep. When Jeff arrived here, we had 12 full-time employees. At the end of this month, we'll have 27 full-time team members, as well as summer students and interns. The FRF program has also more than doubled. So as you can imagine, this new annex is something that we really, really need. And this day did not happen by accident, and I do want to just thank a few other people who were instrumental in really making this day a reality. First, I'd like to thank ERDC team member Lon Pribble. Lon was absolutely essential in kind of walking us through. We had this idea, we knew what we wanted to do. We had no idea really how to do it. And so he really walked us through the process of how you go about securing funding and kind of guiding us through that process. So thank you very much, Lon. We very much appreciate it. I'd also like to thank Colonel Hibner and his awesome Savannah district team. The Savannah team was absolutely just unbelievable to work with. The district planning charrette team was top notch. Team leader Ben Skinner, and Ben is no longer with the district. He actually is a planner for the Army at Fort Gordon now. But his team did a tremendous job, and is really, we believe, the fundamental reason that this FRF Annex is happening, and this groundbreaking is happening today, because the amazing work that they did. This was rated as the #2 priority for the Army for fiscal year 20 funding. That's a big deal for a coastal facility in the Army. So really appreciate that. Also, the Savannah District Design Team with project manager Helene Church and design team lead Sean Barbina. They did an awesome job in the design of this, and they were very patient with a bunch of researchers who had never designed a facility before. And so we really appreciate them as well. And finally, I just, I've got to mention, and I got to thank our incredible team of researchers, technicians, scientists, engineers, craftsmen, mechanics, and all the other support staff here at the FRF. They truly are a world-class team. And this team provided a lot of very thoughtful input into the design process to make this a very highly functional building that's going to support our world-class research for years to come. And so thank you so much to all our incredible team members here at the FRF, because it's the people who make this place what it is. And so with that, it is now my honor to introduce Miss Betty Jo Shepard, Field Representative for the office of U.S. Senator Richard Burr. Ma'am, we thank you, and the podium is yours.
Thank you. Well, I'll be very brief. I was told I was going to be the last speaker, so I will be brief. But I just couldn't come down here without bringing you greetings from Senator Richard Burr and his deepest regrets. He could not be here today because he knows about this center. He absolutely is blown away by the work, the research, everything that is done here. And anyway, he is totally committed to seeing this center advance. And it was in 2019 that he requested, I think it was $1.5 million for the center, for the research and the data collection. And so, because he knows, you know, the importance of it. And I think we really ended up getting about $2 million for the center. But it's such a pleasure to be here. It's one of my favorite places. And it's something that everybody doesn't know about. So I love it. And thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Ms. Shepard. And I've got to reflect a little bit on that visit. When Senator Burr came to visit, Lon came down from DC and the senator came here. And we spent 3 hours in a little conference room with the senator. And afterwards, Lon said, that never happens, you know? And I was really impressed. He was very interested in the remote sensing research that we're doing, you know, and he was really informed, very knowledgeable questions. And so afterwards I reflected, I realized he'd been either the ranking member or the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee for a long time. So he understands remote sensing, right? Let's see, here we are, okay. I ask that our state representatives, Dr. Pittman, Dr. Walmsley, Dr. Talbot, Savannah District Division Chiefs, and Mr. Chesson, please assemble at this time and follow me to break some ground. I'm going to ask our protocol specialist, Ms. Emily Andrews, to take the podium and provide further instructions at the time. Emily says go this way. Come out here. It's over.
Yeah. If y'all will please remain seated. If y'all remain seated while the party assembles for the groundbreaking, that's going to take place on your right. Okay, is everybody ready? All right, on the count of 3, we'll turn some dirt and remain for a few photos. All right, 1, 2, 3. On behalf of ERDC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, thank you all for coming today. This concludes today's ceremony.